Well, guys, you know the deal. New comic book day is almost here. It's time to take a look at what's coming out this week so I can tell you what I'm getting. What's up, guys? BJ Kicks here. I buy comics, I read them, and I review them, all for your viewing pleasure. So if you're new here, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. Now, on this channel, I talk about comics, do reviews, unboxings, haul videos, everything in between. And this series is called What I'm Getting, where I look at the books coming out this week and I tell you what's on my pull list, what I had to chop to make sure my pull list stayed under budget, and what's on the maybe list, things I'll make a game day decision on. Now, I always like to introduce these videos with the book that I'm most excited for. Now, before I get into that, I do want to give a quick shout out to the sponsor of What I'm Getting, Ultimate Comics. Ultimate Comics is my LCS. They've got 4 locations in the Raleigh-Durham area of North Carolina, so you can shop in Raleigh, Durham, Cary, or their second Raleigh location, which is inside the Crabtree Valley Mall. So really dope. They have great staff, great selection, nice, clean, organized stores. I don't know why you can't say that about everyone, but you can say it about them. So that's always dope. And if you can't make it to one of their stores, no worries. You can shop online at ultimatecomics.com to get all the rare and exclusive variants, and twice a week on the Ultimate Comics live show on Facebook. So definitely plenty of ways to get your comics fix from Ultimate no matter where you live. And if you do happen to visit and stop by, just tell them I sent you. So again, thanks to Ultimate Comics for sponsoring What I'm Getting. And now we can talk about what I'm getting. Now, like I said, I like to start with the book that I'm most excited for. And this week, I'm going to do something a little bit different because there are 2 #1 titles from Marvel Comics, and I feel like they're equally exciting. So the first one we're going to talk about is Hulk, #1, from Donnie Cates with artwork by Ryan Ottley. Dude, first of all, Ryan Ottley on artwork is just amazing. You may know him from Invincible. The first thing I saw Ryan Ottley on was The Amazing Spider-Man. And man, was his talent wasted on a bunch of no action having pages. But the solicit for this book promises Angry Hulk. And what do you get from Angry Hulk? A whole lot of action. It's written by Donnie Cates. Now this will be my first time jumping on a Donnie Cates book from the very beginning. When I first got into comics, Venom was all the rage. Absolute Carnage had just started, and I felt like I missed the boat because I wasn't there at the beginning. Thor, I didn't jump on the Thor wave from the beginning. I felt like I missed the boat. But this Hulk comic, I'm getting in on the ground floor. I hope it's just as exciting and bombastic as everything else Donnie Cates has done so far. So that's one of the books I'm most excited for this week. It's got a cover price of $4.99, and I'm just getting the cover A. Now, the next book that I'm excited for, like I said, about equally excited for, this is another brand new #1 for a character that I love. This is Black Panther, #1, written by John Ridley with artwork by Juan Cabal. Now, really, these are like kind of 1A and 1B. But the reason that Black Panther is a little bit lower than Hulk in my mind, I've read John Ridley's next Batman saga, and while it's good, it's not great. And what it's really missing for me is some action. It's a lot of, it's politically themed in some ways. It's like family themed in other ways. And the solicit, the description of this issue, kind of teases that it's going to be another one of those heady type stories. Black Panther, T'Challa is hiding some sort of a secret that if it gets out, it could be disastrous for him, which is cool, but it definitely is giving me Jace Fox vibes. And so because of that, I'm like, it's a little bit of a step down below Hulk for me. The one thing that's really, really exciting, though, that I think can save it all is the fact that Juan Cabal is on art. Juan Cabal is one of the Marvel Stormbreakers. You've probably seen one of his covers recently. He did an amazing job on his covers for X-Men. He does really good dynamic artwork. Most up-and-coming Marvel artists have great artwork. So where the John Ridley next Batman series I feel like has really been suffering at times is the artwork. And I'm not super worried about the artwork coming from Juan Cabal. Now, you add to the fact that Alex Ross is doing these covers and you're like, all right, I'm all the way in, and I am all the way in. So that's got a cover price of $4.99. I'm just getting the cover A. Now that we've talked about what I'm most excited for, let's go ahead and talk about the rest of the Marvel comics coming out this week on my pull list. First up is The Amazing Spider-Man issue 79. After we took a little sidestep and got introduced to a new villain in the 79.BEY issue, now we can get back to the main story. Curious to see how Ben Reilly handles this whole Morbius thing. I don't know. The fact that Spider-Man's coming out every week means it's kind of high stakes. It may not stay on my pull list a whole lot longer. Like, I feel like you got to be really good to justify being a weekly series. The last series that I bought weekly was House of X and Powers of 10. That was worth it. I don't know if this is worth it this much, but it's on the pull list for now. It's got a cover price of $3.99. I'm getting the cover A. And next up is Wolverine issue number 18. Wolverine by Ben Percy. Like I said, we're kind of speeding toward this new Wolverine status quo that starts with the 10 lives and 10 deaths of Wolverine. I need to get caught up on this. I haven't really seriously been checking out Wolverine since the whole 10 of Swords event ended. I kind of got X-Men fatigue for a little while, but I'm slowly trying to get back into all the titles that I was really enjoying before. I mean, they're ending some of them. So anyway, Wolverine 18's got a cover price of $3.99. I'm getting the cover A on that. And lastly, the last book on my Marvel pull list from Jerry Dugan is X-Men issue number 5. Honestly, X-Men's been a lot more exciting. Shouldn't say a lot more. X-Men has been very exciting since Jonathan Hickman left the title, and that's actually the opposite of what I thought was going to happen. So kudos to Jerry Dugan for telling really cool stories. I mean, it's in space. We got new villains. We got stakes. I mean, we got the X-Men being like superheroes again and not just like being on the island, handling island affairs, even though the world of Krakoa is still very real. I'm excited. The direction that X-Men is going in, I'm confident in it. I like it. Hopefully the other books in the line kind of pick up as well once Inferno wraps up. But X-Men number 5's got a cover price of $3.99, and I'm getting the cover A. And that's it for my Marvel Comics pull list. If I just stick to the list, I'm looking at $22 for those titles this week. Not bad. Not bad at all. Now let's move over and talk about DC Comics, the other one of the big two, as they call it, right? So from DC Comics, it's not a super heavy week, which is great. DC usually dominates my pull list, but anyway, drop my pen. Anyway, first up, we got Batman Reptilian number 6. This one is written by Garth Ennis, artwork by Liam Sharp. It's a Black Label miniseries. This is the last issue. It's one I haven't been reading. I started reading issue 1. It was really dark, like physically dark, like hard to see. And I was like, you know what? There's enough dark stories. I'll save this and read it later. I've heard it's some of the best Batman storytelling of the year. I just didn't have room in my mind for it. So now that Fear State is over, I'll probably go ahead and pick it up and read the whole miniseries, and I'll do a review here on the channel. But that's got a cover price of $4.99. I'm getting the cover A. And next up from James Tynion, DC Comics, is DC vs. Vampires number 2. Now, DC vs. Vampires number 1, I thought it was just going to be like Deceased with vampires, and to a certain extent it was, but the storytelling was a little bit slower of a pace than Deceased was, Deceased by Tom Taylor. And that's just, you could chalk it up to being different writers. You shouldn't expect one writer style from another writer. All that to say, I'm not sure how I feel about the decompressed nature of this story, but there was a hook at the end of issue 1 that was exciting enough for me to read issue 2. So we're seeing how Batman is positioned to be the one to save the day. I'm curious to see if they're going to twist that and take Batman off the table early on in the series. But this is issue 2 out of 12. I'm down for the ride so far. It's got a cover price of $3.99, and I'm getting the cover A. Next up from DC Comics, speaking of Batman, we've got Detective Comics issue 1045. Mariko Tamaki and Dan Mora. Man, I've been trying to get caught up on Detective Comics here lately, and the artwork, it's really, really good. It's not better than Jorge Jimenez on the main title, but it's really close. So I'm excited to really get caught up on Detective Comics, and honestly might take the crown as the best Batman title on shelves in my mind. But I gotta get caught up in order to make that determination. I got like 3 issues to go. I don't have long. So Detective Comics 1045's got a cover price of $4.99, and I'm getting the cover A. Next up is The Flash, issue 776. Flash written by Jeremy Adams, if I'm not mistaken. It's just really fun adventures with Wally West. Again, I'm not caught up with this one either, but I've not been disappointed by a single issue so far. And that's exciting because I like The Flash. I thought I'd be like down on it because it wasn't Barry, but I'm enjoying Wally. I like it a lot. So it's got a cover price of $3.99, and I'm getting the cover A. And the last book on my DC Comics pull list this week is Robin, issue number 8. Robin, featuring my favorite Robin, Damian Wayne, has been a really fun series. I thought it was going to be like disposable. It's not. We're really getting some serious character development in Damian while watching some fun manga-inspired action. This series is really well done. It's written by Joshua Williamson, and it's got a cover price of $3.99. I'm getting the cover A. And that's it for the DC Comics pull list. And if I just stick to the list, I've got the same total as Marvel, $22. So if you're keeping track at home, we're at $44 so far. I got $6 to play with. What are we going to do? So let's talk about the indie comics, the indies, the creator-owned, the smaller publishers, whatever you want to call them. They're not the big two, and that's what it means, right? So first up, from Image Comics, Skybound Studios is Excellence, issue number 12. Excellence, written by Brandon Thomas with art by Kari Randolph. I love this series. I love it so much that I backed the Kickstarter at the level that would actually pay for the entire series instead of just one hardcover. I like it a lot. And I've been waiting for my hardcover to come in the mail because I want the first time I experience this to be oversized. So I read the first 6 issues. The hardcover collects the first 9 issues, and then I'll read the rest in single issues. I'm very excited about that. It's shipping out like next week or something like that. I just got the survey information in the mail. So that's exciting. But Excellence, if you haven't heard about that series, grab the trades or at least grab it digitally. It's really, really good. It's like Dragon Ball Z meets like Harry Potter meets... I'm not doing it justice. It's great though. So Excellence has got a cover price of $3.99, and I'm getting the cover A. And lastly, rounding out the bunch from Image Comics again is Radiant Black. Radiant Black number 10. If you've been looking for like superhero action, but without like all the continuity stuff and like, oh, what happened in this book that affects that book, and just buy this series. This has all the superhero action you want. It's just one self-contained story. So, find the other 9 issues if you haven't picked it up so far. It's really good. It's got heart. It's got friendship. It's got all the feels, but also the action and the mystery and the suspense. This is honestly one of the best superhero titles on shelves right now. And that's crazy that it's not coming from one of the main superhero publishers, but it just speaks to how good it is. So Radiant Black number 10 has a cover price of $3.99. I'm getting cover A, and that's it. That's the last book on my pull list. So if I just stick to the list, my indie comics are going to cost me at retail $8, which, if you're counting at home, means I am over budget just a little bit. My total for the week is $52, but that's before taxes and before my subscriber discount. So my subscriber discount will get me just below $50. I'm still under budget. Isn't this amazing? Don't you love budgeting? I actually hate budgeting, but I love being able to buy the things I want. So what did I have to not buy to make sure I stayed under budget? Well, this week, Thor had to finally hit the chopping block. Thor by Donnie Cates is a series that I've been buying ever since like issue number 6 because there was some kind of speculation and I was like, oh, it's Donnie Cates. Everybody loves him. I'll probably like it too. But I literally never got around to reading it. Like just never. And I kept forgetting to drop it. And so when I was ready to drop it after like maybe 2 issues ago, they had this really amazing Throg cover for issue number 18. But now issue number 19 starts a brand new story arc. If I sever the ties at issue 18, I can pick up starting from issue 19 on in trades, or in the eventual hardcover, because we all know Donnie Cates is definitely getting Thor hardcovers. Like, why would he not? So, with all that said, I took the calculated risk and I was like, you know what? I'm going to drop these single issues. I'll wait for a trade. I'll wait for a hardcover. It's not like I was reading it anyway. So, Thor number 19 is on the chopping block, as well as the rest of the Thor series. It is no longer on my pull list. That saved me $4 this week and allowed me to stay under budget. So, what's on your pull list this week? I know there's a few number ones or a few different series coming out that I'm definitely not getting, but I know are exciting to some people. So let me know in the comments below what you're getting. If you want to talk comics with me all the time, then you got to join the K Squad, our private community. We're on Facebook and we're on Discord. By the way, if you're watching this video, that means there's like 4 days left before I close submissions into this contest to win a free Magneto statue. So shout out to you for watching all the way to the end to find out how. Just go to comicsaredope.com. It's my brand new website that launches this Friday, Black Friday, and join the waiting list. You join the waiting list, that way you get a notification when the site goes live. We're going to have really fun stuff, articles, new comic book day releases. We're going to have merchandise. I might even have a few items from my private collection going for sale. You didn't hear it from me. Join the email list, that way you know exactly what's going on and you're the first to know. That way you don't miss out, but you'll also be entered to win this Magneto statue, courtesy of Ultimate Comics Raleigh. I'm super excited, and I hope you win like you. I hope you watching this right now, I hope you win the statue, because I'm just going to be excited to give it to you. So go ahead, go to comicsaredope.com and join the waiting list. That way you're in the running for that statue, and I'll see you in another video very soon. Until then, hope you saw something you liked in this video. If not, hey, that's cool. You can always buy what you like. Just make sure you read what you buy. And be nice to others, because kindness makes the world go round. Peace.